I am Julius Sumner Miller. I teach physics. Consider this astonishing thing. I have here a copper wire, and underneath it a compass needle aligned with the wire. Now I connect the ends of the wire to a seat of electrical energy and give rise to a current in the wire. And a remarkable thing is witnessed. We see the needle turn under the wire. And as Ørsted said, so must we say, why is it so?
Hello there, I'm Bob Sanders, and for 5 half-hour programs with Professor Julius Sumner Miller, I've been wandering around in a kind of moronic way, trying to learn and to understand something about physics. And once again, I have to ask Professor Miller if, well, why is it so, once again?
This experiment, Sanders, this experiment is one of the noblest in all of the history of science, since it was done by Hans Christian Ørsted, the Dane, in 1820, and it changed the world. It changed the world, Sanders. Why? In this experiment, which was in part accidentally done by Ørsted, but do you see the virtue of an accident when there is a mind capable of seeing what there is to see?
Of analyzing.
All right. You remember I told you how Leonardo classified people? There are some who see by themselves, there are some who see only when shown, and there are some who never see. So Ørsted must certainly have been of the first class. See by himself. Here we have a wire, and underneath the wire a compass needle. Now I give rise to a current in the wire from some dry cells here, which constitute a seat of electrical energy. And we see again, watch it, notice the needle turn. There must be some magnetic effects arising from the current in this wire. So indeed, in 1820, Ørsted discovered that around a current-bearing conductor there is a magnetic field. Hans Christian Ørsted, whose name, of course, is honored by the Danes. 1820. Around a wire, here's a current-bearing conductor, here is a compass needle. The needle moves when there is a current in the wire. Now, in itself, this would seem to be utter simplicity. But what did it lead to? 11 years later, 1831, Michael Faraday. Oh, here was a man. Michael Faraday, for 11 years, pondering the observation by Ørsted. Faraday looking at it this way. If an electric current gives rise to a magnetic field, maybe a magnetic field can give rise to an electric current. So, Faraday's experiment. Notice again, its utter simplicity. Here we have a coil of wire whose ends are connected to an electrical detecting instrument, a galvanometer, which points 0 at when we begin. Coil of wire. Now what did Faraday do? He took a bar magnet, whose polarity I shall demonstrate that way. And what did he do? He thrust the bar magnet into the coil, and when he did it, the needle moved.
Proving that he'd...
Magnetic field producing an electric current. When the magnet was at rest in the coil, the needle drifted back to 0. Now when he pulled the magnet out, the needle went the other way, as we shall ourselves see. So he discovered electromagnetic induction. And it is the device which lights the world, because all electrical industry, all the lights you see, come by this. And I want to tell you a word about Michael Faraday. You know he was the son of a poor blacksmith, a little boy in his teens. He applied for a job at the Royal Institution, and it was ignored. So what did he do? He went to the lectures given there by Sir Humphrey Davy and wrote up the notes on these lectures and sent them to Sir Humphrey Davy, who was president of the Royal Society and director of the Royal Institution, again with a request for a job. Now, Sir Humphrey Davy took it up with the high administration, who replied in this fashion: engage him to wash bottles. If he doesn't want it, we are rid of him. So Sir Humphrey Davy engaged Michael Faraday to wash bottles. Now, what shall we say of the rest of it? Soon, very soon, Sir Humphrey Davy discovered that he had something more than a bottle washer. To make long story short, Sir Humphrey Davy and Lady Davy toured Europe and took Michael with them. And he met Voltaire, and he met Galvani, and he was stirred deep in his soul, and he spent the next 50 years in the Royal Institution himself. Indeed, gave a famous lecture entitled The Chemical History of a Candle, better than which there has never been one. Just a candle. Do you see, I am trying to do here what Faraday has done with absolutely simple and primitive things. Now I'll end the tale. In his last years, Sir Humphrey Davy was asked, what was your greatest discovery? And he had made a great many in his own right. And what was his answer? Michael Faraday. Isn't that a beautiful little tale?
It is.
Indeed. So, let's go and do the experiment of Faraday. Here we have the meter, which reads 0 at this time. And here we have a coil of wire whose ends are connected to the meter. And here we have a bar magnet. And I would have you feel this. When I stand like this is the classical characteristic stance of Michael Faraday in every photograph and painting we see of him. And it stirs me to contemplate that I could have even the slightest likeness to this intellectual giant. But remember, make no mistake, I am not a Michael Faraday. There have been but few of that kind.
Yes.
So, come up here a little bit. I'm going to thrust this bar magnet in there and watch the needle. Did you see the needle?
Look right over.
Yes, and do you see it's now at rest and at 0 because the magnet is at rest in the coil. Now I'm going to pull the magnet out. Do you see it went the other way?
Yes.
And clearly the needle reads 0 again. Now I'm going to turn the magnet over. I'm turning the magnet over using the other pole. Watch the needle. Watch the needle. Watch the needle.
Yes. Over she went.
Yes. And the other way.
Yes.
You see it. A very dramatic thing. Extraordinarily dramatic. And on this principle, electromagnetic induction rests all the electrical business of all the world. Oh, one more remark. You see, I'm filled with the history of this. Faraday demonstrated this to the Prime Minister, his discovery of electromagnetic induction. Done a little differently than I have shown, but in principle the same. And you know what the Prime Minister said? Mr. Faraday, of what use is this? And how did Michael answer?
I don't know.
You may one day be able to tax it. Isn't that wonderful? So I'm going to show you some more about the interaction of magnetic fields and magnetic fields. Remember, current-bearing conductors give rise to magnetic fields. So for this purpose, another little demonstration. I have now 2 glass incandescent lamps, you know, the kind of which you use at home to light your house. And let us say they are equipped with filaments which are shaped like this. And my experiment consists of energizing one of them with alternating current and energizing the other with direct current. You get it?
Yes.
Now, I asked my class, how do you distinguish these? They cannot be distinguished by the unaided eye. But we can do an experiment using Ørsted and Faraday, which uncovers which is which. Let us go and do this experiment. Here I have one of those lamps. It happens to have 3 or 4 loops, as we shall see, and I'm going to energize it with some electrical energy. Do you see the lamp is, as we say, lighted? Now, there is in this coil, in this loop, an alternating current. Therefore, the field produced by the current in this loop is alternating, first having one direction, then another. I am now going to bring up, I am now going to bring up near that lamp another magnetic field produced by this very strong horseshoe magnet. Watch what happens to the filament. Watch what happens now. Watch what happens. Do you see the filament is set into oscillation?
Yes.
In a very feverish way. Indeed, if I produced more feverish agitation on the part of the filament, what do you suppose would happen?
You'd break the filament.
Right. And I am reminded, this is mechanical resonance, which, if it becomes excessive, can destroy the member itself. And what do you think I'm reminded of? In Joshua, the Old Testament, I think it's 6:7 or something like that. The priests blew their trumpets, and the walls fell down flat. Indeed, this is very good physics. We need not consider the scriptural lesson in it, just the physics. The priests blew their trumpets, and the walls fell down flat. And this reminds me to tell you, I have an ambition for my last years. You know, it's said you can't fight City Hall. You've heard that expression?
Yes.
I am going to equip myself with all the kinds of musical instruments in all the world, and I'm going down to City Square and sit in the City Square and blow instruments of all kinds at all pitches until I find the resonant frequency of some fundamental steel member in City Hall, set it into oscillation, and destroy it. Isn't that a noble ambition?
I hope you at least
Let
warm
me
them.
do that with that lamp. I want to do that. Come on. We want to see how the walls of Jericho were felled by the trumpet's blast. Watch the lamp. There we
There
are,
she goes.
at the cost of a lamp. But I say anything to see physics in its beauty.
Yes.
We can buy another lamp. That's unimportant. Are you not agreed that Faraday made a contribution to the human race?
Oh, indeed. You
Now-
had some
Yeah.
notes that you
Yes,
wanted to...
yes. This I must do before our time expires. I have made a note so that my memory would not be allowed to fail. This is a public expression of my indebtedness to many people for the privilege of doing these shows. So, as duty-bound, I would say, first, I owe an expression of thanks to ABC for inviting me to do the shows, and to certain people like Mr. Ashbolt and Mr. Semler and others. To Professor Messel, I am especially indebted for the freedom of his institution because, as you're aware, without it I could have done nothing. All my stuff is 10,000 miles away. To certain members of his staff who have drilled holes in tin cans and cut glass tubing and done 1,000 little jobs. Without this, I could not have prospered. Many of his staff. Finally, to Win Frecker, the producer, who has borne nobly this torment, and not the least to yourself for having borne up so nobly.
I think I should return this by saying for the audience, who I'm sure have enjoyed this so much, very, very quietly but sincerely, many thanks for doing it.
Let's
With
go
some
on
more
with physics.
experiments.
Right. Oh, and this one. How's our time? Because this is going to be something.
This is your perennial worry, isn't
Right.
it?
Time. How's the time?
Let's say we have 15. Anyway.
My chimney effect. Story. Story. Here is a little slope. My neighbor lives here, and I live a little higher up. Do you see? It's a measure of our status, okay? See, a little higher. She lives across the street from me, in fact. So one day she comes to my home, knocks on the door. I come to the door. How do you do, Mrs. Howland? How do you do, Professor? Will you step in? No, she hadn't time, nor did I have time to have her step in. Can I help you? She said, Professor, does your fireplace smoke? Very good question, you know. Does your fireplace smoke? I said, indeed it does not, and I resent the implication. My fireplace does not smoke. Whereupon she said, well, why doesn't it? I said, it does not smoke because it resides in the house of a physicist. Good answer.
Yes.
To which she quickly replied, that may be so, but your doorbell does not work. Oh, I enjoy that. But anyway, her fireplace smokes. She wanted to know why mine does not. So I told her, I am at a little higher elevation than she is, and there is a stronger blow of wind across my smokestack, my chimney. Now, if she could get the same blow of wind across the top of her chimney as I get here, her fireplace would not smoke. So she did as I said. She got some stonemasons and they put on a higher chimney. And now, as I predicted, her fireplace does not smoke. So we are again invoking the astonishing physics of that family known as the Bernoullis, of whom I said there were about 100, all geniuses.
Yes.
Fantastic. Now, this fellow Daniel gave us this principle, that if I blow a sharp stream of air across the top here, I reduce the pressure all in here, reduce the pressure, and the atmosphere pushes the soot and smoke up out of the chimney. Isn't that amazing? Just blow across there. So indeed, let's go and do it.
Right.
Here we are. Now, first I describe what I have. Here is a beaker filled with some Rice Krispies or something. This is my fireplace. Here is the glass, which is my chimney. Now remember, Sanders, I am not going to blow that stuff out. I am going to blow a stream of air across the top of the tube. Isn't that amazing?
Let's see it work.
Having blown, while I blow the air across here, the pressure in here gets less. The pressure everywhere else is atmospheric. The atmosphere pushes the stuff out. Watch it. We ask for a full stream of air. Do you feel the air? We need more air. More air, I say. More. We need all the air the people can give us. There we are. Good. Now we'll shut it off for a moment. Did you see the smokestack?
Yes, so it's being sucked out. Wrong word.
Oh, yes.
Wrong word.
Yes.
Being pushed out.
Being pushed out by the atmosphere down here because the pressure here is less. Now that word suction. I put on my lecture board at the beginning of the year, and I go all the year with it in successive lectures, certain ersatz und verboten terms, words, phrases, and suction is one of them. There ain't no such stuff. Now, that may not be good English, but the firmness of it is convincing.
I'm convinced.
What we do, notice, do you drink a soda with a straw?
Yes.
And you say you suck it up through the straw? No. What you do is reduce the pressure in the tube by a certain action of the lungs and the throat. Now the atmosphere comes along and pushes the soda up into the straw, into your mouth. No suction. Will you remember that, Mr. Sanders? Good. Next one. Next one. Before we go to that, the following. Supposing I have a tube here, which is somewhat tapered, through which I blow a fast stream of air. So I have air coming out of here. Now, if I have a ball on top there, one would expect that I could hold the ball up because the air pushes up and the ball pushes down. But supposing I have the air stream directed sidewise.
You'd think that the ball would fall to the ground.
Right. So, let's have it now. Look at here. Notice
well
that.
done.
Notice, that was 20 degrees off the vertical.
Yes,
I'm going to do it again because I like it. Well, do you see it work?
Yes,
we lost the
indeed
ball.
it did.
So we have the astonishing phenomenon of the ball not held vertically on the stream of air, but off the vertical.
Yes.
Now, what does this do for us? You know, sometimes you are interested in the practical usefulness, which I have no interest in ever. If we explored the action of this ball on the airstream, it would account for what golf balls do when they are hit badly. It would account for what baseballs do when they are hit. Do you see how much could be learned by knowing something about Bernoulli's principle? Good.
What's the next one?
Oh, the next one. Turn on the gas and I'll show you something enchanting. Full, full, full. Full. We've got a little blow. We've got a little blow. There we have. Now I'm going to show you something which is beyond credibility. Well, have not all these things been?
If this is the pipe again, you showed me on the program.
Notice, I said all this is enchanting. Do you remember what Michael Faraday said of the world? There is nothing too wonderful to be true. So, I remind you, I have the metal pipe that I used on your show one evening, and it has a little piece of wire screen.
Yes, gauze.
Wire screen, a wire gauze, and I fill it with music, you remember, by heating the gauze. See, I heat it, I heat it, I heat it. And then, you remember this?
Yes.
And then when I put it like this, the music can't fall out. Now, this is a metal pipe, and it has a wire screen in it, correct?
Right.
But here's something more enchanting.
This is it, I know.
Oh, yeah. This is a cardboard tube on which rugs come rolled. You can get them 4 feet, 8 feet, 12 feet. Good. And this cardboard tube has nothing in it. Are you agreed?
True.
That is not right. It is filled with air. Oh, Mr. Sanders.
That's old.
Oh, yes. But are you agreed that As compared with the first one, this has no gauze.
There's no gauze in it, nothing.
Remember that one when I heated? It sang after I took it away from the flame.
Yes.
Watch this one. Turn on the gas a little more, please.
I think that's full on.
Oh, all right. Watch it now. Listen. Just a cardboard tube. I'm having a little trouble.
Not enough heat?
Not enough heat.
Let's shake it up.
We have a little. Sounds like a steamboat on the Mississippi, doesn't it? Isn't this beautiful?
And what happens when you take that off?
It stops. Now, let me tell you in a sentence about my organ at home, my pipe organ. It consists of nothing but an array of such tubes, gotten from rug merchants, of various lengths, various diameters, various wall thicknesses, and I have them arrayed in a frame so that when I run with burners from one to another, I can play a Bach chorale. All with an organ that costs nothing, absolutely. Now remember, the physics of this is not trifling, but is it not an exercise that would stir even the dullest to curiosity?
All of it.
Yes.
All of it is.
So now let's go to some more acoustics. How's our time?
This all looks fascinating. I think we've put about 8 minutes, perhaps.
About 8 minutes. Yes, here we are. Here is something that would bewitch, again, I say, even the dullest. Here is an array of plates. See, a square plate, a round plate, small one, a bigger round one, so on.
Like a strange xylophone.
Right. Now, if I bow a plate, say a round one, it sounds a little pretty, but the question is, what is that plate doing? How does it vibrate? That is, in what shape is it vibrating? To find this out, we sprinkle it with a little sand, or say sugar. Sugar. Although this sugar, notice how critical nature is. The sugar that I am using here is coarse-grained and not so good for my purpose. Sugar that's very fine has smaller grains and better adapted. Now watch. Remember what we are asking.
Yes.
How is this plate shaking? How is it watch. Do you see? There is a 3, 5, well, it's supposed to be an 8-pointed star. Let's start again and tip this a little this way because, well, I'm going to use sand. The plate is a little bent, I fear. Let me try it once more.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, notice
how
that.
many points?
Oh, I don't know how many, but it's delightful, isn't it? Isn't that the prettiest thing? All by bowing. Let me bow it again now in a different way. You know, nature outwitted me here, as she always does, those who think a little about her. I did not expect this, and so the result enchants my soul. Watch it. Well, I'm having a little trouble here. I'm having a little trouble. I'll try it again. Well, I'm having a little trouble.
Roughly the same number
Yes.
of points.
Now, let me try a square one. Here is a small square one. 4 inches on an edge?
Yes.
Watch this one now.
4-pointed star.
Yes, isn't that pretty? Now let's try a bigger one. A bigger plate, and this one is square. Now let's try this one. See what we get out of it. Notice, just a plate, just a plate.
Good heavens.
Isn't that something? Are you not enchanted by
Perfect
the prospects?
pattern, too.
Yes. Now let's go to this white one, this circular one. Notice now what a plate does. Oh, yes. I discover here by fingering that this plate is very thin. This one is thicker. This one is a round one. Let's see what this one does when bowled. Remember, we had 12 points over there, I think. Isn't that delightful? 6. Now we'll go to this square one, which will be our last one, and we'll see what this one can do. Are you not agreed, Mr. Sanders? Just looking at it and hearing the... Here, get your ear near here. Get down here. Look at that.
Oh, it's perfect.
Yes, delightful, delightful. Notice, is it not said that music charms the beast? Yes. So now here's another square one. I'll bow it a little differently than I bowed that one.
Look at them jump around.
Isn't that pretty? Isn't that pretty? And listen, get down close. And look how long-lasting. A delightful thing. I hate really to shut it up because it's behaving so beautifully. Oh, yes, this I got as the same as the other. So are you agreed? The behavior of vibrating plates is something to enchant all.
It is indeed. But what are you reading from this as well?
Oh, that's a good question. That's a good question. Remember when I bowed the plate without any sugar on it, we just heard some music.
Yes.
But we did not know how the plate was vibrating. Clearly, this pattern tells us, first, that the plate is not vibrating where there is sugar or sand, because where the sugar has gathered, the plate must be at rest. All other places on the plate are shaking with great agitation. This was discovered by a German named Chladni, capital C-H-L-A-D-N-I, and he showed this to Napoleon. And what did Napoleon say? Chladni makes musical sounds visible. So there's a point to be remembered about Napoleon. Here was a tyrant of the first order, but you see, he had a little art in his soul. Indeed, when Volta from Como, Italy, whose tomb I visited and was enchanted, when Volta showed Napoleon some of his electrical devices, he said to Napoleon, I will have to resign my post at Padova because I need more time for my researches. Whereupon Napoleon said, if Professor Volta claims that he is overtaxed, let him give but one lecture a year. You see, so Napoleon had some intellectual curiosity, apart from being a tyrant. Don't you think this thing should be pointed up in the history books? Indeed.
Julius, before you go away, can I just see whether I can do this?
Oh, sure you can. Of course. There is no special talent here. None at all.
Sugar?
None at all. Bow it. Indeed. Gently and vertically upward. With the lower end of the bow, you'll do better. Again, a little stronger attack. There you are. There you are. Sanders, a second Chladni.
I have made music and pictures.
Yes. Now, I think it appropriate to end this show, since we have a couple minutes, I believe, with some reflections on the physics of toys. The physics of toys. You know, that's a subject that enchants my heart. I tried to make one of the toys that I have at home, but it wouldn't work. Consider this the top of a pot, the lid of a pot. I took the knob off.
Yes.
And what I would do if I could make this work, but you see, the lid does not quite fit my purpose, is this. I would spin this lid around like this. Get it?
Yes.
Now, having spun it at a rapid rate, about a point here, we would say that it has large kinetic energy of rotation and large moment of inertia. I would slip the stick over to the very middle, and it would spin so in that fashion for half an hour or more. This is a toy that sells in America, and when the kids saw me do it on television, thousands were doing it in the streets for weeks. Do you see the joy in a spinning plate?
I do. Professor, I think we'll have to finish there. I hope that thousands of people who watch these programs will have learnt the one essential part of all of these lectures, and that is, all these talks, that you want them to think.
Oh, yes, and the curiosity must be stirred in the youngest, if the human race is to aspire to its noblest aims.
Thank you very much, and bon voyage to America.
Thank you.